You are 22 years old, and your bank account has $7.43 in it, and rent is due in 4 days. You eat the same 3 meals on rotation. Eggs in the morning because a dozen costs $2.89 and lasts a week. Rice and beans at night because a bag of each costs less than $4 and lasts longer than anything else. And whatever is on the reduced rack at the grocery store at 8 p.m. when they mark things down before closing. You know exactly which grocery stores mark down at what time. This is not a fun fact. This is survival infrastructure. You work 47 hours a week at 2 jobs. A morning shift at a coffee shop where you make $14.50 an hour, and an evening shift stocking shelves at a pharmacy where you make $13.75. You are tired in a way that is not fixed by sleep, because it is not really tiredness. It is the specific weight of a life where every dollar has already been spent before it arrives. At $0, you understand money completely, more completely than you ever will again, because at $0, every dollar is the difference between something and nothing. Level 2. $10,000. The first cushion, the $10,000, comes from a year of saving. Brutal, specific. 11 months of packing lunch and cancelling streaming services and not buying the jacket you needed and buying the cheaper jacket instead. When the number crosses $10,000, you feel something that you expect to be happiness, but which turns out to be relief. Pure physical relief, the sensation of a weight being removed from the center of your chest that you had stopped noticing, was there. At $10,000, you can absorb 1 emergency, 1 car repair, 1 medical bill. You cannot absorb 2. The cushion changes how you sleep. It does not change how you live. You still check the account balance before buying groceries. You will check the account balance before buying groceries for years. Level 3. $100,000. The turning point. The $100,000 takes 4 more years. It comes from a better job, a real one, with salary and benefits, and from living below your means with a discipline that your friends find slightly alarming and you find completely natural, because you remember the $7.43. At $100,000, you can absorb several emergencies. You can take a trip. You can replace the cheap jacket with the good one. Something changes at $100,000 that is harder to name. A loosening, a small reduction in the permanent low-level calculation that has been running in the background of your mind since you were $7.43 and counting the days to rent. The calculation does not stop. It reduces. This is the first time in your life that money has given you something other than the absence of fear. Level 4. $1 million. Millionaire. The million takes 12 years total from the $7.43. You are 34. You got there through a combination of the salary job, careful investing, index funds, nothing complicated, the boring strategy that actually works, and a side business that you started at year 8 and sold at year 11 for $340,000. At $1 million, something unexpected happens. You tell 3 people. 2 of them treat you differently afterward. Not dramatically, subtly, in the way they suggest restaurants and ask for favors and reference your situation in conversations where it is not relevant. The 3rd one does not change at all. You quietly decide that the 3rd one is the one that matters. At $1 million, you learn the first lesson that money above a certain level always teaches. It does not change who people are. It reveals who they already were. Level 5. $10 million. 10 million. The 10 million comes from the business, not the one you sold but the next one, which you build with the knowledge of having built and sold the first. At $10 million, you can live entirely on investment returns. You do not have to work again. This is the moment most people fantasize about. The reality of it is more complicated than the fantasy. You wake up on the first Monday after you realize you could simply not work. and you feel a specific absence, not freedom exactly, but a removal of structure that was carrying more of your identity than you understood. You keep working, not because you have to, because the version of yourself that does not work is not yet a version you recognize. A $10 million money stops solving problems and starts creating a new category of them. Problems that only exist above a certain level. Problems that require solutions that did not exist in your vocabulary at 743s. Level 6, $100 billion. 100 million. At $100 billion, your life has a staff. Not employees of your business, personal staff. A person who manages your calendar. A person who manages your properties. A person who manages the people who manage your calendar and properties. You have 3 homes. None of them feel entirely like home, because home requires a specificity, a particular chair, a particular window, a particular unremarkable view that is harder to maintain when you have 3 of everything. You begin to understand that the things money cannot buy are not abstract. They are very specific. The ability to know if someone likes you for you. The ability to enter a room without people adjusting their behavior. The ability to have a bad day without it being managed by someone whose job is to manage your days. At $100 million, you are surrounded by people. You begin to understand loneliness in a completely new register. Level 7, $1 million. Billionaire. At $1 trillion, the problems are not personal anymore. They are political. People you have never met have opinions about your existence. Governments have opinions about your existence. You have a security team, 17 people, 3 shifts, a threat assessment updated daily. Your name appears in news stories about things you did not do, about positions you have not taken, attributed to motivations that bear no relationship to anything you have actually thought. You fund a hospital. 3 news stories question your motivations. You donate to a university. 4 news articles suggest an ulterior motive. You cannot win the narrative, because you are not in the narrative. The narrative is about a character with your name and none of your specific humanity. At $1 million, you understand why the richest people disappear. Not because they are hiding something, because being visible at that level costs something that cannot be recovered. Level 8, $1 million dollars. Trillionaire. There is no roadmap for this. No one alive has been here. At $1 trillion, you are not a person in the economic sense anymore. You are a variable. Your decisions move markets. Your investments reshape industries. The purchase of a single company changes the employment of 400,000 people who will never know your name. You cannot spend the money. Not in any meaningful sense. If you spent $1 million a day, every day, without pause, it would take 2,739 years to spend it all. The number is not real in the way that $7.43 was real. The number is theoretical. Abstract. A score in a game whose rules you have long since left behind. At $1 trillion, you have everything that money can buy. What you have discovered, and this is the thing that the number does not prepare you for, is the precise and exhaustive inventory of everything it cannot. You remember the grocery store at 8 p.m. The reduced rack, the specific calculation of eggs versus beans versus whatever, is marked down. You remember the weight in the center of your chest that you stopped noticing was there until it was removed at $10,000. You would give $1 trillion to feel that weight lift again for the first time. You cannot buy that. You have tried.